because my car is a Canadian car. Well, actually, this car is not a Canadian car. This car originally came from California. However, I once owned a Canadian Milano Verde, and it has this really sweet speedometer, which I've hardly ever seen. I took that speedometer out and sold that car years and years ago, like almost 8 or 10 years ago, with the regular mile per hour one that you're normally seeing. The only problem is these speedometers in every single Milano Verde, they're just horridly inaccurate. I don't know if people test these things with like a GPS or anything, but like I've owned 3 Milano Verdes, and every single one of these speedos were horribly inaccurate, but like in a weird way. Like at low speeds, like below like 70 kilometers an hour, 80 kilometers an hour, the thing reads atrociously high. Like on this one, for example, when it's indicating 70, you're going 58. Then when you're around this area of the gauge, 110, 120, 130, it's bang on perfect. Then as you go faster, 100 miles an hour, or like on this one here, when you're going 160 indicated, you're actually going like 170 or 175 even. So I don't know what the hell is that. Just probably just a crummy. It's a really bad speedometer head anyway. And also for some reason this stupid thing doesn't count miles or kilometers properly. It's like really slow. So I have a little project that I've been wanting to do, and it's going to come to fruition pretty soon here. I'm not a fan of hacking things, so I'm not going to hack this, but I have my spare cluster here with the speedometer face that people in the United States will definitely know and have seen lots of. I have the whole cluster taken apart. I have the original Milano Speedo head. It's kind of a stupid thing. Basically this is like a mechanical Speedo, like with a cable. Instead of having a cable drive, it's like an electric drive. So its functioning is exactly identical to a cable drive speedometer, except it's just got an electric motor on the back that would normally have driven the cable. So that could be where there's like a huge source of inaccuracy. So anyway, you can see the tack there and the rest of the cluster all taken apart. What I have, one of the guys at the shop had an old Volvo 940 with Japanese instruments. You'd think the Volvo would had VDO or something, but no. This is Yazaki, made in Japan, which guess what? That means it's going to be perfectly accurate. I have pulled the speedometer apart, taken all the extra junk for the service reminder and crap off this speedometer, reset it to 0, and what this speedometer is a more modern air core drive. So instead of having, it's not even this type of instrument where it has, I don't know, it's like a solid core. There's actually a term for that, this type of movement. It's not even that style. This is a completely air core driven. As you can see in there, you can see the coils of wire. There's no magnet in there at all other than the field windings. So this is going to be a very accurate speedometer. It's going to be very accurate, or within a couple of percent. Same as the odometer, there's actually integrated circuits on there that count the miles, blah blah blah, stepper motor on the mileage counter. So anyway, my next little project. So what I've done is I've done some grinding and chopping. And I've drilled a couple of little mounting holes in the circuit board, blah, 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 as you can see. Without the reset for the trip odometer, this thing fits on there absolutely perfectly. And what I'm going to do is figure out how to get the trip reset over to the center where it's supposed to be. But I just found it so funny that the face of this lines up absolutely identically to the Milano's original speedometer, which is, see, if you can't really see it because the stupid trip odometer's in the way, but it's just absolutely uncanny how close that is. So I have the Milano needle down there. I'm going to repaint that. Mount this in here. I have the circuit diagram for this, so I can figure out what power is and ground. I'm going to obviously just have that mounted in the back there. There's power and ground there. I'm going to mount one of those Dakota digital speedometer converters so that the cruise control and the rest of the car will still be running off the Milano sensor, but this one device will be running off the Dakota digital. So I'll basically have the input from the speedometer coming in wherever it comes in on this connector, or wherever the hell it comes from. I can't remember now. And then it goes straight to the Dakota digital, and then it gets fed directly into here. So that way I'm not disturbing any of the rest of the wiring in the car other than just at the cluster itself. Then I will take my Canadian speedometer face and I will plop that on top of there and reassemble it all, and nobody's the wiser other than me the fact that the bloody speedometer is accurate. Another thing I'm toying with is the idea of scanning the face of this and putting an oil temperature gauge down here. I need to find a print shop who's going to be competent in order to do that and print me another face. But that's maybe something that is something I would like to work on in the future. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. Anyway, till we meet again.